Today I want to discuss the topic of work with you. Specifically, why do we work? What is the meaning of work? And should we be redefining what it means to work? So I have a few questions that I wrote down for myself to remind me of topics that I want to specifically address in this video. So please excuse me if I look away from the camera. So the first question I have is, why do we work? Well, of course, historically we work because we would trade goods or services with each other, and we'd be working in the fields, or we'd be working out in the rock quarry or wherever, just so we could trade service and goods with each other to maintain our living, right? And now, modern sense of that, we do it for money. Everybody works for money. That's our universal trade currency, right? So what would happen if you didn't have to work for money? Like, how would life change? One of the questions I asked myself was, what do we accomplish by working, and what are other ways it could be accomplished? So of course we accomplish stuff, everything from, washing a car to planning a new business, right? Those are all examples of work. Would these things fail to cease if they were mandated by your quality of life or your living? So would you still continue to see these things happen if the mandate of work disappeared? I don't believe so. I believe that if they were so rudimentary that nobody wanted them, like take for example pulling, picking crops in a field. If there's that job out there that nobody would be willing to do unless they were getting paid to do it, then is there another way we can accomplish that job that would be more efficient for those people's times, where they could spend their time elsewhere? I think with COVID-19, a lot of people are getting to see for maybe the first time in their life that staying at home and doing nothing isn't all that they dreamed it would be. A lot of people have all this extra time and they don't know what to do with themselves. Work obviously provides a means for fulfillment for a lot of people. And even you look at retirees, a lot of times they will retire from their job, and then they'll stay at home for a month or two, and then after that they realize that they're bored and they go and find something else to do. They find more work, even though at that point they don't need to work in order to maintain their minimum living standard. Would work stop if it wasn't required? No, I don't believe work would stop. Like I said, things would need to happen because people would request or require them to happen. And if nobody else was doing it, you would do it yourself, right? So the needs, if they're out there, they will be fulfilled. We don't have to force people to fulfill those needs by hanging this, fruit over their head, putting that paycheck on the end of the carrot on a stick, and saying, hey, we want you to do this job so you can get this carrot, and that's the only way we can get that job done. No, I think we would find a way for it to happen, even if we weren't requiring people to do it against their own free will. Is money the best motivator, or are there better motivators, or is no motivator needed? So if we take money out of the equation, which is really what I think we need to do. I just recently did another video, and I'll probably be doing future videos on the idea of flattening the income curve, sorry. So the whole idea with flattening the income curve is that you're providing a base living wage to every person. Once you've met those needs, kind of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Once you've met that basic need for security, for a roof over their head, for food on their table, then you provide them the freedom to do and make choices with their life. And by empowering those people, what do you think they're gonna do? Do you think they're all just gonna sit and do nothing? I actually don't believe that's the case. And do we need them to do anything if they don't want to be doing something? Is it counterproductive to force people that don't want to work? I believe it might be. Maybe if they weren't working, they would be accomplishing other tasks. Maybe they'd be an artist, or maybe they'd be in some other field creating, something that we aren't even prepared for, because we're forcing them to do something they don't want to do just to make that means of maintaining their minimum standard of living. So I think there's a lot to be accomplished, and right now everyone's a slave to the system. right? So what do we need to do? We need to kind of evaluate that system and decide if it's serving our needs best, which I don't believe it to be. Another question I have here is, what would you do if you weren't working? So I kind of touched on this with the retirees. A lot of times you see them go back to work, or what do they always say? If you retire, what's a successful retirement is having a hobby. What's a hobby? Most of the time for hobbies, most people, hobbies are actually interests, and they're actually related to work or jobs. Take, for example, the guy who enjoys wrenching on cars. He may have an office job all day, but his hobby when he's home, or his hobby when he retires, is he wrenches on cars. Well, why not provide him an opportunity to do that from the very onset of his professional career, or his, after his education or whatever, right? Let him make that choice to pursue that interest, rather than forcing him into working into another field or position because that's where he can get the money. That's the job that's willing to hire him, right? I think with this freedom, we open up a lot of creative opportunity, and the ideas and the creativity that could result from this would be astounding. Along with that, right now it's kind of funny, we talk for a long time hybrid life work balance, right? So right before this, it was always, a hot topic, right? Like, how do you balance work life and home life, right? Well, if we didn't have quote unquote work life, would there be this need or this seeking of work/life balance? No, I don't believe there would be. You would automatically attain that balance yourself. For some people, they're workaholics, right? So they're going to work 100% of the time. And other people might be focusing on their family, especially when they have loved ones at home. So maybe that service that they're providing at that time is more valuable than sending them into an office, or, creating widgets in a factory. Maybe they're going to be better parents, and they're going to raise kids they're going to contribute more to society because those parents are at home and instilling and working with them. That's where I really feel this is about giving people the freedom. And the only way I think that we can give them that freedom is to not have them be tied as they are bound right now to the limits that we have with society. And obviously, money is our most limiting factor in society right now. That's the only thing that really tells you what you can do with your time. If you're rich, you have unlimited money, or, well, you don't have unlimited money, but you have unlimited resources that you can maybe make choices with your time that other people can't make. So that's the best thing that money can do for you. So why are we punishing people that don't have those resources and not allowing them to meet these needs that they have internal to them, and not be forced to do a service or what have you, a job that they would not want to be performing. I think with the AI and with everything else, we're going to be transforming the work environment already, and we're already seeing changes in this. And I think now is the time with COVID-19, now is the time just to really go full bore in it. I really feel like we should flatten the income curve, and I really feel like we should redefine what it means to work, because work, as we traditionally have defined it, and the job really has a negative definition, and we need to shift that. And work doesn't have to be work. Let's call work fun, or let's call work a hobby. We need to make work something else. We need to open work up and allow it to provide opportunities for everyone to contribute in society in any way they can. I mean, you look at it, even the homeless have to work, right? Right now, the homeless are working. They go around collecting money for whatever they need. So maybe they have a drug abuse problem, right? So they're going out and collecting money for that. Maybe if they had the sufficient money, then they could get the sufficient care to address that problem. I just really feel like money is the handcuffs on everybody in society, and we really need to find a way to free those handcuffs to make the most of society. I'm going to be doing some follow-up videos. I'm still getting used to the idea of sharing my ideas on social media and YouTube and everything else, so bear with me. I really feel that these ideas are important, and I really feel that these ideas should be considered by all. So hopefully my inability to speak excellently, and I put these videos out raw, I don't edit them, which maybe I should, but this is real, and this is me starting off, and I want to get this information out as quickly as I can, because otherwise it'd be easy just for me to say forget it and go on and not make these videos. So thanks for tuning in. I'm definitely going to be continuing to make videos, and I would love to have topics and questions that people have regarding my videos, and debate, and I would love to have debates, and I'm always open to alternate ways of thinking. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email me at balance4everything@gmail.com, or you can message me on Twitter, and my handle over there is balance4E. So FOR and then E, the letter E. All right, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.